Please give a warm welcome to your next act. It's Mark!
Hey, how y'all doing? Great. Can you hear me okay? Good. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a circumcision survivor. I'd like to tell you more about my 8th day on the planet, but I can't. Legal action pending. But I was very excited to discover just recently the foreskin donor registry. I've listed myself as a recipient, so color, size, doesn't matter if you have one, and a donor card, check that box. I watch a lot of cop shows on TV, and they all begin the same way. They find a body, and they have to identify the body. And they use science to do that. And one of the ways they do it is dental records. And I thought, that's a waste of time. You have to get dental records, you have to compare them. Why the hell don't they just call the dentist down to ID the body? Internet dating. What a scourge on human interaction that is. I reached out to a woman not too long ago, and I'd like to start with something original and exciting, like, hi, my name is, and then I use all the fortitude of a junkie in rehab not to say Slim Shady. And I get a response back, and I knew I was in trouble because this was Christian Mingle, and she said, Shalom. So, you know, I'm a comedian, you do it for the story, so I responded, so how was your weekend? And her response, no word of a lie, was, I live in the moment, I only live towards the future, and my weekend is over. So, I waited about a month, and then I said, how you doing now? Got a very strange phone call from a friend of mine, middle-aged man, such as myself, except, unlike me, he just had a baby. And when he called me to tell me he was having a baby, and I was thinking, we already have a kid in college, why do you want a baby? And then it took me a second, I realized it's because he wants to keep his 26-year-old wife. And I'm a lawyer, he's a lawyer, and the word godfather came up, so we had to negotiate. And I'm happy to say I won. I only have to be the godparent if there's a nuclear holocaust and I and the infant are the only survivors. I'm not sure, but I think I was sexually assaulted by Harvey Weinstein. It wasn't physical, he never touched me, but I was walking through the lobby of the Sutton Place Hotel, one of the film festivals, and he's standing in a corner in his bathrobe jerking off into a ficus. Hashtag me too. Next to watching UFC, buying underwear is the most homoerotic thing that straight men do. Especially now that Calvin Klein dropped the Louis C.K. brand. That stuff's just not marketed to us. Don't know if you heard this story. It was a couple of weeks ago. It's about the Rocket Man. Not the North Korean Rocket Man. This is the Nevada Rocket Man. This is a man in his 60s who is a flat earther, and he decided to build a rocket with metal that he found on his yard. You can only imagine what his yard looked like. And my first question is, if he thinks that's a good idea, how the hell did he make it to 60? So he's all set to go. It's making the news shows up, and clearly the government does not believe in natural selection because they interceded. They had no legal grounds to do it. They just showed up and said, no, you can't do that. And he said, why? And they just said, cuz. Which leads me to the bigger question. What is this flat earth conspiracy? Who's behind this? Rand McNally? People that make maps? I mean, we know that the globe industry and the snow globe industry are opposed to it, but I just don't understand it. I've been a comedian for almost as long as Donald Trump has been president. Whose approval rating is higher remains to be seen. But this is the first time I've chosen to speak about him, because up until now it's been done to death and I didn't really feel I had anything new to add. And finally, I was watching the news the other night and there was a close-up. And my first thought was, how has he not written an executive order to prevent close-ups? My second thought was, wait a minute, I know how this ends. We know a couple of things about Donald Trump. We know a lot, but only two are germane to this. One is that he's a winner, just ask him. And two, he's obsessed with his TV ratings. So it occurred to me that Donald Trump is going to be the first president to fake his own death. Because dying for real, that's for losers. But knowing the TV ratings of your own state funeral, that's for winners. Thank you very much.
Keep it going for Mark, everybody.